Agenda West Side Beer.
Guys, welcome to the episode of Into the West Comics. My name is Frank. Marcus is here.
Hey,
that guy over
good
there.
evening, everyone.
Sonny, Lena, we love you. Uncle Nephew Shane is over there.
Marcus looked like the baby-faced assassin.
That's right.
You pretty, man. He pretty, like Ali.
Oh man, I appreciate it.
Good morning, everybody.
Joining us off of his hit Netflix series, Ben Badgley is here.
Look at him. Look at him.
Hello.
Oh man.
And it is National Pizza Day, but we're also celebrating something else. Over there in the lounge, I guess. Happy birthday, Donovan. Don is over there.
Day to you. Happy
There you guys are.
birthday.
Was wondering when this was going to start. It sure is a beautiful day here in my neighborhood. Hope you all had fun reading this weekend.
Okay, Mr.
I know I
Mr.
sure did.
Rogers.
Look at him.
Sometimes people are not nice to other people,
Oh man.
but we need to treat them with kindness. Also, if you're ever wondering how fat I actually was, here we are. Look like Kingpin. And I can't think of another fat person, but I'm happy to be here.
Well, you named the only one, so
Yeah.
There you go. You nailed it.
Anyway, I'm happy to be here. I look like a giant picnic blanket. Let's get on it.
Happy picnic. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Yeah.
buddy. You look good.
you look like a great picnic if it's any consolation.
Thank you.
I'd attend that picnic. That's all I'm saying, dog.
Or the
What a
strangest
hunk.
game of checkers.
What?
I love it.
I like John Goodman. I see the John.
Hey,
I'll
hey,
I'll
that's
take Dan
good.
from
That's
Roseanne
good.
any day.
Yeah.
De Niro and John Goodman, love child is in a good way. In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good
Like
way,
that.
as
A
opposed
very
to
good wipe. A very, very good wipe.
A little bit. A little
A
bit.
little bit. You salted them a little bit.
A little bit. A little bit.
Wow, I don't know how to segue. Earlier this week, we didn't really get into it last week a whole lot, but what have you guys been thinking about Last of Us? Been watching that show at all? Are you current with Last of Us? After episode 3 was like ridiculous. It was so good. But have you been watching Last of Us? You're current. What are your
Are you up
thoughts?
to date?
my thoughts are that it's great. Although I feel like I wish I played the video game. I could have a little more, because I feel like even though it's been very engaging. It's been, the whole world, the setup has been excellent in my opinion. But it seems like I keep thinking, man, what if I actually played the game first and I actually got more attached to the characters first?
Like there'd be a
before.
different type of.
I think there
You'd
would be
be even more into it.
I think I would be
Yeah, I
even
feel
more
that.
into it. So I feel like I'm kind of, missing out a little bit. Not much though, because good grief, like the internet is blowing up with like frame by frame matchups.
all the
of
comparisons.
the
Yeah.
comparisons, and I'm like, okay, well, cool. That means it's pretty faithful to the game. So I feel like I'm actually getting a good a good solid adaptation, definitely.
Handsome.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. And I got a question about that. Would it be better if people played the game first before you watch this show?
As someone who has played some of the games and knows the plot points from the games, I know where it's going.
Right.
And that is like, you guys are not ready for episode 5. Like,
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
you guys are all up to date. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
right.
The
Absolutely.
individuals that show up at the end of episode 4 have a pretty harrowing story in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be pretty intense, especially if they stick as close to the games as they have.
Mm-hmm.
And I know where the characters end up, and they're all in wonderful and like interesting places in a way that most stories, not just video games, don't really tell.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to see that unfold on the big screen. But I think by the time you guys get to those reveals,
Mm-hmm.
you'll enjoy it just as much as you have if you haven't played the games.
Okay. There's a football game I heard being played this Sunday.
Something
So
like that.
they actually moved up the release of the 5th episode of Last of Us. So it's going to be out tomorrow afternoon.
Yes.
Like our time, it comes out like at 3 or 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So
Okay.
you can watch episode 5 and you get caught up. I kind of
And then
watched.
you can watch the Eagles play Pat Mahomes.
Right. There you go. Pretty much.
Okay.
But you have time to get caught up and all those things if you haven't done so already. I think it's like 2 different perspectives. Like I watched the variant play the game over the years, and I got my own little insight to it watching it being played by him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm old. I don't really play video games,
Right.
but I appreciated the storytelling
Right.
and all of the storytelling that I've heard through people who have gone through the game and the second game as well. So I already kind of had an insight to what the story was going to be about.
Right.
I know a lot about the first game. I don't know very much at all about the second game. Donovan, why do you think the show works so well? We're going back to the picnic table over here.
I think the reason why it works so well is because while it's sticking faithful to the game, it's also giving us things in the game we haven't seen before that are just as that mean just as much as playing the game. And for example, Bill and Frank that we got last week, we knew from the game was that Bill had a partner, but we didn't know the relationship and what culminated with them over the years. And they showed us that. Much what I think they're going to do with episode 5, perhaps. I didn't see the tag at the end of episode 4 where they're like, next week on Last of Us.
I never watched that.
Really know
No.
what's going to go on. But if I were to guess, I would say they're going to do sort of the same route they did with Bill and Frank, but with the people that we met in episode 4. How did they get there? What caused her to be that way? Who was Henry? All the things that encompass that. But I think this show has done an incredible job of giving us more than what we asked for, and somehow giving us just enough and not too much and overloading us. So it continues to be the number 1 show, and that's really the reason why.
And it's been growing in viewership with each episode.
Yeah.
Each episode has premiered with more viewers than the last, and that's word of mouth. That's people saying, hey, this is based on a video game, but that short sells it. It is so much better than that. I really think it's fantastic, and it's everything you hope for out of an adaptation.
Right.
Take liberties where you can and enhance the story, but stick to the plot and get out what people love and why you adapted it in the
little
first
creative
place.
tweaks. whatever.
Right. But those creative tweaks have to be just as compelling.
But it's even greater
Yeah.
on that level because it's even great on the level that we see Joel and Ellie getting closer and closer together with each passing moment, which makes it even more brilliant.
And to your point, I think episode 3, not only was it a lovely story between 2 individuals who found each other when you needed someone more than ever.
Absolutely.
That echoes Ellie and Joel's relationship.
Right.
That one episode encompasses the journey we're taking with these 2 main characters. And it just it rhymes in a way that if you're gonna take a detour and tell a kind of like its own story within one episode, it is still within the themes and matches the overall show, which The Watchmen does really well with episode 6 on HBO.
Absolutely.
I think they just do HBO. I'm gonna watch everything HBO ever puts out. It makes
at least give
so
everything a
much
chance.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so
Because it's
good.
not TV.
It's
No, there's
basically
short
a
films,
long
You're right.
movie.
HBO.
Yeah, each
Great.
episode is a short film. Yeah.
Yeah, what I love also
don't
about this
know
show
why that
too
was
is
funny.
there's
Cute.
the part where we see, and this they do it really well in the game, and they're doing it well in the show, is the void that Ellie fills for Joel as a daughter. You're beginning to see the seeds of that begin. I mean, they're telling the joke about diarrhea is hereditary; it runs in your genes. And he breaking, and he breaks. He ends up laughing at it. He's like, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard." And you're beginning to see like, something's forming here, and oh boy. I don't know how they're going to end this season, but oh boy, if you thought episode 3 was a tearjerker, boy, yeah.
How many episodes is
9.
season 1? 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're about to be like halfway through.
Are they making another game?
They're talking about it.
They've been talking about.
You know, my brother and I were talking about this, how they would pace out the show. I would love to see 6 seasons of this, but just Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2. The first 3 seasons being the first 3 acts of Part 1, and then the last 3 seasons being the 3 acts of Part 2.
Yeah.
I think that would be a fun pace for it, but I don't know where they're going to go. And again, if there's another game in development, we'll see. But yeah, give me more of this.
Well, and they confirm, not that it was really up for, like, no one was sure, like everyone was pretty sure it was going to get renewed for a second season, but it is confirmed renewed for a second season now. So we're going to be getting The Last of Us for the next 5 years.
Right.
How about that? Warner actually renewing something. And,
Yeah, I know.
Look out.
Instead of canceling everything.
Well, maybe that's why that's what I was going to say. Maybe they canceled all those other shows so they can pay their salary.
That's very possible. Speaking of Warner and all under that DC umbrella, we're going to talk about James Gunn right now. As far as the impact that he made, it was just about a week ago he started making those announcements. Marcus, with regards to projects like The Authority, Supergirl, The Woman of Tomorrow, a Superman Legacy movie, The Brave and the Bold, all these things. It's had an effect on the market as well. It's okay, you can touch him if you like. There's
not usually this close.
There's been an effect on the market with regards to the comics.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys heard about this, but online as well as in LCSs everywhere, these certain titles are selling out.
Yes.
It reminds me of Anakin when he's fixing the pods and pod racing, and he's like, "It's working."
Yeah, no kidding, man.
Execs in DC are like, "Oh my god, it's working! We just did this 10 years ago."
We're 2 years away from anything coming out that's going to be James Gunn. As far as since he's put like his vision out, type of thing. Right. So we've got plenty of time for homework. Which of the projects, we didn't really get into this last week, which of the projects are you going to do your homework and go back and read?
Gotta be The Authority, right?
Yeah.
Does everybody read? Does anybody here read The Authority?
He's got the hardcovers.
Marcus reads everything. That don't mean nothing. We all know Marcus reads The Authority.
I think.
And everything else. I'm surprised he's not reading right now.
He is The Authority.
I'm surprised he's not reading right now.
Yeah, my love for The Authority starts off with the fact that the initial writer of that series is Warren Ellis, and a lot of his stuff, for to say that he's very quiet and he's been a subject of some controversy in recent times. A lot of his stuff gets adapted to small and big screens pretty often. Does everyone remember Red?
Oh, sure.
With Bruce Willis.
Oh, yeah. That's a fun comic. I've actually read that comic. That's a great
Warren
comic.
Ellis.
Yeah.
That's Warren Ellis with Carl Urban, a young Carl Urban, our soon-to-be Dredd, who then was our soon-to-be
Butcher,
and
McCoy.
Yeah,
McCoy
man. He's one of my favorites. I like him. But, so my love
Ragnarok.
for him. Yeah, exactly. He was in Ragnarok. So my love for The Authority started with that book, and Warren Ellis is one of my top favorite writers as well. So
you think they can pull this off then?
I think, you know what? Yes, because there's 2 different angles you can take The Authority. You can take it super R-rated, or you can take it kind of like edgy PG-13, like Peacemaker,
right?
Because they are kind of like a ragtag group of like I call them meta degenerates, where they're just kind of like
probably a good way to describe it.
Just like they're heroes with flaws, and you have Apollo, Midnighter.
Those are the two I'm most excited to see.
They
wanna
remind me
see
of
them.
the Eternals with no moral compass.
Yes, yes, that's a good way
That
of
would
putting
be
it.
like the best way I can describe them.
And the story that I was told was basically they were jokingly created by, I think it was Warren
They were
Ellis.
Wildstorm, right?
Yeah, they were part of the Wildstorm era. And basically it was the writers getting together and laughing about, hey, what if Superman and Batman got married?
Yep.
And that's what you have. You have Apollo, who's like the Superman character. You have Midnighter, who's the Batman character. They're both in a relationship. But it's one of those where it's not beaten over your head.
They do it right.
Like you'll see them both just kicking butt, and then all of a sudden, Midnighter will have a little sly gay comment, and you're like, oh,
I think a
where'd
really
that come
good
from? And then you're like, oh yeah, that's right, they're gay. I
think
forgot.
a really good comic book comparison for their relationship is Big Barda and Mr. Miracle in
Yes.
Mr. Miracle.
Yes.
They're very much real relationship, real people having real issues, and
Right.
also being superheroes at the same time.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of characters who fall under this is just Batman, but what if? I think Midnighter is a better character than that, and I think that's a great way to describe him.
Yes.
But I think there's a lot of people who are, it's just another Batman clone. No, I think
No, he's
Midnighter is much more intense and from a like violence way.
Yeah.
He is much more loving than Bruce ever is. At
Right.
least like he acts on emotion more than Bruce ever does.
Yes.
And I really enjoy that character. And I'm just super excited to see that be adapted and see those two within the inner workings of that group.
What's one of the projects you're interested in seeing get adapted over there, Don?
Booster Gold.
Okay.
That's the one that I'm
That's probably gonna be
excited
fun.
for the most because it really is truly imposter syndrome. This guy is a fool, and it is funny.
It's
If
funny,
you-
yeah.
For those of you who don't know who Booster Gold is, this is a guy who's from the future, who has all the technology, and he goes back to the past and pretends like he's a hero with all the technology that he has.
Right.
It's very funny. There are two main runs. I believe it was like the late 80s they did. That was like his first one. It's like 86 to 88 or 89, which was okay. It's fine, but the one that's really going to get you into it is the 2006 or 2007 run to like 2010 or 11. That's the run that you want to go with. And I've been rereading it and I've been laughing my tail off. I mean, this is a fun character that I can't wait to see in this universe. I just can't figure out who to cast for it. I know that we kind of said Chris Pratt, but I think that's a little
the
too
easy call.
I think that's a little too typecasting. For him, because we've already seen him do it in Guardians and a lot of other projects. I would like to give this sort of hero, if you will, a chance with another actor to play this because it is a great character, and I can't wait to see how he's going to unfold in the DCU.
This would be right up James Gunn's alley too.
With
the humor,
100%.
with the over the top humor, and just the silliness of him. That's a good call.
I kind of feel that he could be writing a lot of this stuff. I mean, he announced 10 different things. He's already written the Creature Commandos thing. He's doing the script treatment for the Superman movie.
It sounds like he might be directing that too. That is what rumblings are.
So that one actually is very intriguing too, because I don't know anything about the Creature Commandos.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
So
What about the Lanterns thing, Shane?
That's what the one I was going to speak on. I'm so curious to finally see a real Hal Jordan, character and see them actually bring that to life. I don't know who's going to actually pen this. Like, who's going to start writing the scripts and directing? I mean, what year is that one supposed to? When did he say that might come out?
I don't know if
This is all in their first phase, so it could be a two-year plus
And it's
window.
It's
a series. Yeah, it's an actual TV show, which is even better because they can really take their time and explore both Hal Jordan and
John Stewart.
John Stewart. Yeah.
They can give both of them equal time, equal treatment. I think it would be very beneficial to do that correctly.
I agree.
I said this last week just in the chat because I couldn't make it last week. Thanks for the shout out, guys.
We love you.
Anyway,
Anyway,
but yeah, that was the one I go with. If they land that, if they stick the landing on that one, it'll be absolutely beneficial and really monumental for that going forward. So that's what.
And I just started reading Paradise Lost for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
there you go.
It is excellent. If you guys haven't read that,
Pack,
it's pretty good. Pretty good, and I'm very excited for that as well. But anyway, Green Lantern,
Doc,
anti-life.
Liam Sharp, who did the art for Intergalactic Spaceman, Grant Morrison's run for the Hal Jordan character, tweeted something the other day. It was like, hey, I'm seeing a lot of love for a bunch of Grant Morrison stuff.
Right.
And ours is kind of getting lost. And I talked about it on a comic book show, one of our comic book segments a couple weeks ago. That comic is fantastic. I'll probably reread that before the Lanterns come out because I'm hoping they adopt all the detective elements from that. Because that is the space detective one. But the one that I am going to reread before it comes out, it was one of my favorite trades I ever read. It was one of the first trades I ever read. Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. I have the first 2 volumes on trade paperback if anybody wants to borrow them. I'm going to be rereading those before the Swamp Thing comes out because it's John Constantine, it's Hellblazer, it's Swamp Thing, it's everything. It's gothic, it's horror, it's comics, it's superheroes.
Yeah.
It's really incredible, and I'm super interested to see what they do because Gunn said that the Swamp Thing show is going to exist outside of the continuity of the all the other movies and shows, but it is still going to be tied in.
This will be part of it.
Which sounds very Swamp Thing to me.
Right.
Because Swamp Thing is kind of an interdimensional being, and he can like move through like as long as there's forest or swamp somewhere,
he's OP.
He can show up.
He's OP.
And
he's definitely
I'm going to reread that, and I am super excited for that. Like
I'm
talking
sure
right
Alan
here,
Moore can't wait for that.
yeah, I'm sure he's not going to hate it. Like he hates everything.
So it looks like based on this timeline that I'm seeing circling around. that's
Swamp
being
Thing is a
posted.
movie, not a show.
Yeah.
Thank you all in the game. Still excited for it.
Yeah, it looks like it's the very last thing in chapter 1 of the DCU. Creature Commandos is first, followed by Superman Legacy. Then you have Waller.
Which animated shows,
right.
I'm not super interested in those.
Right. And
but
then
I
you
just
have-
don't love animated stuff.
And then The Authority, then Booster Gold, then Brave and Bold, Lanterns, Supergirl, Paradise Lost, then we have Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. That's
On the new comic book day, you guys had talked about, you were talking about Supergirl.
Supergirl. That's out now. Go watch that.
I've got the trade in my car. If you guys wanted to borrow, anybody want to borrow read that. I've got
You know
that.
what?
Yeah.
Yes,
What
sir.
I really
let them
loved
do that.
about this announcement that we've gotten, we've had a couple of weeks to sort of marinate and chew on a lot of this stuff and even go out and research and like, what are the best books to do? If I can recollect Marvel and what they've done with their cinematic universe, their stories didn't make me want to go back and read the books.
Yeah.
Just hearing these announcements made me go, holy smokes, I want to go back and read some books again.
That's
And I think that's a
testament
testament to how DC stories are.
Yes.
It's the storytelling.
Yes.
Because it is the storytelling, and this is what we've been missing for a very, very, very long time in the live action. So the fact that James Gunn was like, hey, here's what we're doing, and here's all the source material for it. Because
Very important.
MCU is like, yeah, we took a little bit from here, we took a little bit from here, we did our own thing right here, which is not to say that DCU won't do that, but at least they're giving us solid resource material to go from and actually to say, okay, you guys are going to do this. Well, I'm going to go read this. And if it's not what I read, then you're in trouble. They're really taking a gamble by letting you know what they're adapting these from.
I didn't even think about
Marvel did not do that. I mean, if you watch a movie like, say, Ragnarok, for instance,
Yeah, that's like Planet Hulk mixed with.
They were
mixed with
combining a bunch of
stories
stuff.
put in
Yeah.
one. Or
That's true.
If you watch the first Avengers movie and literally any of the MCU movies, they just take little trinkets, and then
Right.
Civil War is completely different.
That's
from
what I was
the
going to
comic
say.
books.
That's the closest thing Marvel got to straight up being like, this is an adaptation of that. Well, Age of Ultron too. And that actually rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because they're like, this is Age of Ultron. And it's a 2-hour movie where Ultron's around for a week. And they're like, this was the Age of Ultron.
Well, the comic book people kind of had that
Felt like a week of
conversation
Ultron.
while they were announcing all of those titles. They were kind of using the titles for the marketability to relate
No
to
doubt.
a lot of the comic book fans and their market. Because timeline wise, the Civil War thing didn't really make sense for it to be happening then.
Right.
Age of Ultron didn't really make sense because a lot of stuff hadn't developed yet.
Right.
You hadn't had characters that were we still don't have some characters that are introduced that play key parts in Civil War and the Age of Ultron. I'm talking about the comic books, of course.
Right.
Couple things before we get out of here. I wanted to mention this. AMC is going to have a ticket price increase, depending on where you sit. It doesn't really affect us. There's only 2 AMC theaters here in Las Vegas. Most of the theaters are like Regal.
Century.
Or Century.
CenturyLink.
You know, CenturyLink.
Link. So when you watch it on your phone.
How do you feel about
Buffering.
a price increase, like depending on where you sit in the theater, Donovan?
This is ridiculous. This is we're talking about classism when we get into these things like this. This is not a concert. This isn't a sporting event where you can go live and see the actual people performing this. It's all of us looking at a screen. That's it. I don't understand why if you pay more, then you get a better seat. No, this isn't a concert. I'm not seeing Adele live. No, I'm watching a movie, and these people aren't anywhere near me. Like
it's not a play,
especially from all of us here who like grew up in Vegas. We understand like ticket prices are closer, or the closer you are to the front of the stage or the orchestra pit, the more the ticket prices are going to be. Sure. But in this case, in a movie. For me, when you go into a movie theater, everyone's created equal in there, including your wallet. We all pay the same ticket price. We all pay the same amount for snacks. It's an equal level playing field when you go to the movies, and I think it leaves a sour taste in people's mouths when you do this. And I don't go to AMC snacks. Anyway, so don't really care.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, obviously,
I care, but
from like I'm sure there's some like statistics they have that they're saying that, hey, we're not selling a lot of those close tickets. We sell the middle ones no matter what. Let's raise the prices on those because movies aren't as profitable as they used to be. And also theater chains, and it's probably something to do with the theater chain, and that price increase is going to go to the theater. Because I don't know if you know this, the reason popcorn costs $26 at the movie theater is because that's the money the movie theater makes. The rest of the money goes to the movies and the studios that is being made there. There's probably a slice, like a small slice. I don't know. Somebody has a percentage.
The longer that a movie stays in a theater, the more money the theater can actually make from it. Because the first 2 or 3 weeks, a good chunk of that goes to the studios, and then everything else goes to maintenance.
I think you're right.
For the
I think
theater.
it's 21 days is like the
there you
range, and then after that, the majority of the movie.
But yeah, I don't know.
The market, though, I mean, what they're all talking about for analysts, I'm talking about just as far as all the stuff that's going to be coming out this year, they think that it's going to be a huge year for people going to the movies again. So AMC is thinking like, well, we'll cash in and we'll just try to gouge them to death and try to make as much money
in a recession. Like that's really smart.
It doesn't mean that the movies are going to be good because we have no idea how it's going to be received by all the different audiences. But we do have a lot of those. We've got built-in sequels. We've got some stuff we've been waiting for years for that. I mean, it feels exciting. We're all going to the movies anyway, but it feels exciting to be anticipating seeing the big movies on the screen again.
Yes. It seems like we have returned to normalcy as far as going and see things on the big screen.
A wise woman once said, the wise woman being my wife.
True.
And she just said it in the chat.
She's very wise.
Stupid AMC.
Wow.
Is that how she says it?
They're stupid. I don't like them.
So
I didn't know your wife was Mickey Mouse.
So
AMC's dumb. I hate them.
Wow. That was the most frank thing I've ever heard Shane do. Like if I closed my eyes, I would think that was you.
I like glitter.
wow.
I say that too. I like glitter.
So I would say,
Love you, Eva.
So given the tumultuous sort of relationship that theaters in general have had with studios dealing with COVID, trying to survive with literal no profit at all, especially these past few years, I'm not really upset about them doing this.
Not surprised.
I'm surprised, yes, but I want to see how it pans out because from a business perspective, I'm looking at it like what exactly are we offering? What other factors are involved in their decision in doing this? Like, are they upgrading their theaters?
Like, what is the actual price? You're going to go online and look at it.
Yeah, like, are they upgrading?
How it changes?
Like, how are they going to use this profit? Are they?
They're going to put it in their pockets and run.
Yeah.
Are they going to upgrade the theaters?
No.
Are they going to offer additional better seating?
Has AMC done anything different other than
I don't know.
Well, why, if you're trying to, I don't know, why would you just not like change the way you build theaters? Don't put all those seats right where you're breaking your neck. Build them a little further out. I mean, that's easier said than done, obviously.
I think a lot of people are going to be turned off by this, especially where we are economically today in our country. I think a lot of people are going to go, why would I go to a theater that's going to make me pay more money to sit in the spot where I want to sit when I can go to another theater, watch the same movie, and only pay $12.50 for the same exact position of the seat that they have there.
Though, but every city's not the same as far as your availability.
That is very true.
What
Vegas,
if you have
8
theaters that are AMC in your town and you only have 2 of the other? You're going to drive across town to go to those other theaters and skip like multiple AMC theaters because like, I don't want to pay the extra $2. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. How much more expensive do you think a good seat is gonna be than a bad seat?
And what is a good seat? Is it the middle? Is it the back? Is it the very front? Like
probably eye level, so midsection.
Yeah,
probably.
As long as I can reach across and steal Shane's popcorn.
That's all he cares
I don't
about.
care.
Don't touch
Frank doesn't care about anything else.
I don't have to lean all.
I'll pay top dollar for popcorn access.
I gotta like have like a kink in my neck from like leaning all the way back.
Yeah,
then I'm good.
Yeah. Frank doesn't care about seating as long as he can steal my corn.
Yep.
Wow,
it's true. Doing it for years.
The corn boy, all grown up.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, wow.
It's been that long.
I wanted to mention a couple things. You know, the announcements came out, the nominations came out a couple weeks back. The Oscars are March 12th. Angela Bassett got her second nomination for an Academy Award. It is the first acting nomination in the MCU. Do you think she's got a chance? She did not win for Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It. Do you think she wins for her portrayal of Queen Ramonda?
Who is she running again? Who else is nominated in the category?
I don't know.
I mean, she won the Golden Globe for it. That's usually
Roseanne. And no, I don't know who else.
Roseanne.
She won the Golden Globe for it. That's usually the sort of like precursor to who's going to win the Oscar. So, I mean, she very well might do it, and I think if Marvel campaigns really, really well, because that's how these guys win.
Yeah.
They campaign like they would for politics. They do the same thing for movies. So if Marvel does a good job campaigning her, then she'll win, and it'll be a win for Marvel. And it's all marketing stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's really all it is.
You can always get the professional protesters, get them riled up too as well.
That's right.
I mean, last time we had a huge like African American winning presence. It was when I think it was Denzel Washington, Halle Berry, and Morgan Freeman. I think they all won at the same evening.
Sure. Denzel won for Training Day.
Yeah, and that was after a big stink was made of the lack of diversity in Hollywood and all this stuff. And so they had to all right, hurry up, give them some black people, hurry up, So that's pretty much
hurry up.
Yeah, hurry up. We gotta make some black people win. Let's go. Hurry up. Throw them out there.
All in the Game saying her tightest competition is going to be the daughter from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
There you go.
I think Angela Bassett should win it over her because that movie was great, but I don't think it was great because of that girl's performance. I think the best
Angela Bassett's performance is
the best part of Wakanda Forever, without question, in my opinion.
No doubt.
And what about Viola Davis, Woman King?
She wins everything.
Voter fatigue. She might not win it.
Avatar and
the MVP in the NBA.
That's why Viola Davis always cried.
Avatar 2, The Big Wave, and Top Gun Maverick both nominated for Best Picture. Everything Everywhere All at Once, 11 nominations.
It'll win Best
well
Picture.
Deserved.
Probably.
That movie. Donovan told us, he came in one day for the show and he was like, Everything Everywhere All at Once is great. It made me cry. And I'm like, okay, I don't really know much about it.
2022.
That is what he said. And then I was like, I don't know. I don't really know much about it. Maybe I went and watched it and none of that is hyperbole. It is incredible. It is legitimately.
Right,
Marcus did not like it. Marcus,
no, I didn't. I didn't finish it. No, I didn't like it. I turned it off.
I loved it.
I haven't watched it yet.
I think it'll probably win Best Picture.
I just turned it off.
They're doing the re-release actually at AMC. They're doing an Oscar series. Let's go in there before they get.
Probably gonna win Best Picture.
Let's get a Groupon,
please,
and go over there. We'll split some corn, and we'll go over there and watch it. I haven't seen it yet. I still want to see it.
It's nuts.
Guys, we are 1 week away from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania's.
Oh yeah.
Stay tuned. Right after we get done here live, we have we have our run it back of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, right after this, right now. If you leave this live chat right now.
And Tanya wanted us to mention that Magic Mike triple XL or whatever it's called is going to be out pretty soon as well.
Can't wait.
Yeah, we're gonna see that too. Just Shane and I.
Plus size male strippers.
Paul, how could they get us in the social world?
You can get at us on Instagram at Into the West Comics, on TikToks at Into the West Comics. We're posting stuff up there all the time. Twitter at Into_Comics, and go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to a podcast. Into the West Comics, you can find us there. And just start watching all our stuff. Comes out multiple times a week, and we really appreciate all of you guys, 20 of you guys in the chat right now. Really appreciate you guys and love you guys.
Man. Yeah.
Donovan over there, what do you got for the people? Happy birthday again.
Hey, thanks, man. What Paul said, go follow our social medias. Paul and I have kind of been going back and forth on TikTok with like the best of like movies and comic book characters.
Yes.
So if you guys want to engage with us, do your own and then tag us in it afterwards at Into the West Comics, and maybe we'll repost it or, give you a shout out or whatever. But it's been a lot of fun in the social medias in the last week and a half. So thanks for engaging with us. We really appreciate it.
Facts. I'm gonna get Frankie to get up on the TikTok here.
I'm gonna do a TikTok or TikTok. I'm gonna do one. Yeah,
something like that.
Do a talk.
Marcus,
I was going to say that.
I'll get Shane on there and Marcus too.
Hey, just everyone have a great week, rest of your week. Read some comics. There's a lot of really cool stuff coming out. Because of all the announcements, some of the titles that we've mentioned when talking about James Gunn are hard to find, but there are some restocks coming, so just be patient. Hang tight. It's worth the read. It's worth the wait. Some of this stuff even is probably long out of print for a while anyway, and are just coming back. So hey, just bear with them. Let them know. Maybe that's something that they should have done ahead of time, is kind of pre-gamed it before the announcement and had some stuff restocked. But
my popcorn buddy.
Yeah.
Hey.
What do you got over there?
I just want to say I'm glad to be back after missing last week. I missed you guys. Happy birthday to Donovan.
Happy birthday.
I hate the Grammys. But other than that,
I hate the Grammys.
There you go.
There's no rock and roll on the Grammys. Let's be serious.
91 categories.
My goodness. Did you win?
Horrible.
Yeah, I won.
Donovan was actually nominated.
I don't think I've ever watched the Grammys since
For
like
best
1989.
Yeah, best
been a
underground
minute.
impressionist in the Las Vegas Valley podcast comic book host.
Yeah.
It's probably a category. Sounds like it's probably
love
a
it.
category.
I won.
Guys,
Deal with it.
be on the lookout for other stuff that's coming up this weekend, including we're gonna have a Run It Back right out. It's already up. I think the Run It Back is up.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Run It Back is up now. Monday, Ant-Man, the first one. Run It Back will be up. We'll be talking about the first one on Monday.
Perfect
Can't
timing.
wait.
And then Wednesday, we'll have the video for the second one up, and we'll be talking about the second one. And then we'll be live on Thursday again, right here.
Wow.
We're gonna be going an
Right
hour
here.
next week live.
Oh my
Ant-Man
goodness.
and Quantumania.
1 hour
And
next
then
week.
after that, we're going to come back after the movie and go live again and talk about it more.
Oh, dude.
Oh my gosh, so much Ant-Man.
We'll be live. I don't know how
So
alive
much
I'll be,
us.
but we'll be live.
It's going to be a ton of us.
That'll be a
So
popcorn
get ready,
coma.
folks.
Paul can't contain his enthusiasm.
I hurt my hand on the table.
Guys, have a great night. It's National Pizza Day. We get this guy a slice of pizza right now.
Oh, man.
We'll talk to you guys soon.
Paul.
Sonny, we love you. Lena, we love you.
Shout out John Goodman.
Eva, I love you.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Peace,
Talk to you
redhead.
guys soon.
Oh, find us on
Peace,
Feed Finder too.
redhead.
Go watch
yeah.
Magic Mike.
Redhead.
You got to guess.
Picnic table feet.
Drive safely, everyone.
Goodbye.
Yeah, because you drove here.